Hello everyone, welcome back to Dibya classes. So till now in chapter 3 we have completed till data type. So last class we studied about variables and the different types of data types. But till now we don't know how to keep these values inside the variables. Okay, or how to create these variables. So today we'll be learning about how to create these variables and how to keep these values inside these variables. So let us start. Declaration of variables. So declaration of variables is nothing but creation of variables. So last class we understood that variables are nothing but these are storage locations. For example, if you want to store a human being, you need a house, a home. For cat, you need a cattery. For dog, you need a kennel. So for different types of animals and living beings, you need different types of houses. And these houses are known as variables. And the type and size, or the type and how big is the house, is told by the data type. So today we will learn how to create those variables. So declaration of variables. It tells the variable name and specifies the type of data or type of value that can be stored in that variable or the variable will hold. Okay, what is it define the scope of the variable? That will come in class 10. For now, please skip it. So let us understand the statements. So declaration of variables, creating a variable. For example, this is me and I want to build a house so that I can stay in it. So before staying, you need to create a house. So this creation of house is known as declaration of variable. In Java, the house is known as a variable. Okay. In Java, the house is known as a variable, and to create a house, there are syntaxes. For example, how to create our house. We need bricks, we need sand, we need cement, and many other things, right? So similarly, there is also some rules and regulation how to create variables in Java. So today we'll be learning about the syntaxes. Okay, so declaration of variables has two things, that is the variable name and the type of data the variable will. So first of all, what does this variable name means? So in starting of chapter 3 in identifiers, we studied that identifiers are names given to class, variables, object, and many other things, right? Similarly, here we also give a name to a variable. Why are we giving name to a variable? Okay, so for example, I have 3 students and I want to go to their house. I have 3 students means there might be 3 houses. There must be 3 houses, right? And I want to go to one of house. I will go to the student A. A student whose name is A, I want to go to his house. How will I know that if this is his house, or this is A's house, or this is A house? So we should give a name to this house. That is, in our case, we give a flat number or an address, right? All house have some address so that you can send some letters or you can send gifts, okay? Or you want to go to his house or her house, right? So similarly, here the variable should have their name so that we can differentiate, okay? So that we can differentiate. So for example, this is a variable, I gave the name A and I gave the name B and I gave the name C. So I'll ask A, where do you live? He will say that I live in C. So I will go to this house. Okay, if there would have been no name, how will I get to know that which house is of A's, right? So therefore, each variable should have their own name so that we can differentiate. And it specifies the type of data the variable hold. Okay. So actually, while creating a variable, we also give the data type. The data type actually tells about the size and type of value a variable can hold. So now we'll come to the syntax. And before that, there are 2 important points to remember. That is, a variable must be declared before it is used in the program. It is the most important thing. It is a simple concept. Okay. So for example, your friend is staying in Australia and he wants to return back to India. But actually he doesn't have any home, okay, to stay. So he will return back to India. So he need a house. So will you call him before or create a house for him? First you have to find a house for him, right? After finding a house, you can tell him, please come. I have searched a house for you and you can stay there. If you just call him and there is no house to stay, so he will stay in the roads? No, he will not stay in the roads. So first you have to create a house so that you can store something. So creation of house comes first. Staying in the house comes second, right? So this means that variable must be declared, means variable must be created before it is used in the program or before you store a value in that program. A variable can be declared once in a program. For example, you are declaring a variable A or you are creating a variable A. You cannot create variable A again. For example, there is a house and the address is A302. Okay, in a particular area. For example, in your city, for example, there is sector 3 and in the sector, it is a colony, it is a sector 3, you have a house A302. Can there be another house with the same name A302? No, people will get confused. Which A302 are talking about? There are two to A302. Therefore, we cannot have the same variable name more than once, or we cannot declare a variable with the same name again. So these are the important points you have to remember while declaring or creating a variable. So now we'll study about the syntax that will help us to create these variables. And the syntax is data type variable 1, comma variable 2, comma variable 3, comma dot 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 semicolon. Means you can create infinite number of variables using Java. Okay, there is no limit. There is no limit that you can create only 50 variables or 100 or 1000. You can create millions and millions of variables. Okay, and the syntax is data type variable 1, comma variable 2, comma variable 3, comma dot dot dot. So what does the syntax tells you? First you have to write the data type. So what is data type? Last class we studied about different types of data types. So there are numeric data types, there are character data types, there are boolean data types, and within them there is integer data type, real data type, and we have single character data type, string data type, boolean data type. If we talk about the keywords, we have byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, char, and string. So total 9. If you say, if all the keywords are taken together, all the data type keywords, there are total 9 types of data types you can say. And using these data types, we will create variables. Because while creating a variable in Java, means when you build a house in Java, you also have to tell the type and the size. You also have to tell the type and the size. So for example, you are creating a house for your friend. So you have to create a house so that a human being can stay. If you create a house for a cow, how can your friend stay there? So while creating a variable in Java, you also have to tell about the type of house you are creating and the size of house you are creating. How big is that house? So that Java will understand that how much big value can be stored in that variable. The syntax is data type. So first actually data type tells what? It tells about the type and size. Therefore you have to mention the data type and the variable names. Variable 1, variable 2, variable 3. And all these variables should have a variable name. And when it ends, for example, you want to create 3 variables. After that you have to give a semicolon. Or 2 variables or 1 variable, depends on you. But at the end you have to give semicolon. Semicolon tells that we are done creating variables of the particular data type. Okay, now let us understand a little bit details about this syntax. So have you ever gone to big cities where you can see big apartments, 20-story apartments, 30-story apartments? So for example, a builder has created a big tall building and it contains 5 floors of 1 BHK. So when you will go to each floor and see these rooms or 1 BHK apartments, all will look same. All will look same. Okay, this data type declaration is like that only. So when you write a data type followed by different types of variable, v1, v2, v3, these are all house. So all will be of same type. That means if this data type is int, variable 1 will be of int, variable 2 will also be int type, Variable 3 will also be int type. Variable 4 will also be int type. So everything in this line will be of same type and size. That means it will be of integer type and of size 4. For example, if you tell the data type, for example, you want to create 3 variables of double type. So you have to write double and 3 variables. Will give some variable name. Let it be A, B, C. You can give any name according to identifier rules. Here I have given ABC. You can give XYZ. One can give A1, A2, A3. It depends on you. Okay. So when we write double A, B, C, it will create 3 variables. First, it will create 3 variables. Why? Because you are creating 3 variables and it will give the name. The first variable is A, the next variable is B, and the third variable is C. Okay, first it will create a variable, means it will reserve location. After reserving location, it will see that what is the data type. So here it will see it is double type. Means all these variables can hold real values or decimal values, okay, of size. Double also tells about the size, of size 8 bytes. So all these variable will be of same type, only the names are different. Okay, it is not like that. For example, if you are writing double A, B, C and there are 3 variables will be created, but one of int type, one of string type and one of char type. No, that is not possible. You have written double means everything will be double, means all will store real values of size 8 bytes. Remember, in that line all the variables will be of same type. For example, in board exam the question comes, create 2 variables, one of double and one of int. Then what you will do? So you have to write 2 times. First for double, for example x, so this will create a variable of type double. Next again you have to write int y, and here you will create a variable y of type int. So if you want to create different types of variables, you have to write in different lines. This is line 1, this is line 2. But if you want to create same type of variable, for example, in board exam the question will come, create 2 character values. For example, in board it will come that create 2 character variables. Then you have to write char. Char is the data type. It will tell that the variable will hold single character values, followed by variable name. Let it be x1, comma x2. So when you write like this, it will create 2 variables of name x1, x2, both of single character type of size 2 bytes. Clear? Here are few more examples. So these are the syntax. When there are more than 1 variables, each is separated by comma. So when there is more than 1 variable, for example, here there are 3 variables, it should be separated by comma. If there is only one, you can give semicolon directly. But every time at the end, a semicolon must be given. This is another example. For example, you have written intx. So what will happen? When you write intx, the Java compiler will first create a variable with name x. Then it will check what is the data type. So here data type is int. That means it can store integer values. It can store integer values of size 4 bytes. So if you are giving bigger value out of the range of integer, then it will give you error. Because the size is 4 bytes, it is fixed. You cannot give value which is bigger than 4 bytes. Okay. Next, another example, double pi. So here the compiler create a variable with name pi of type double, or you can say it can hold real values of size 8 bytes. The next, float xyz. Here what it will do? It will create 3 variables. 3 variables separated by comma. At the end you have to give semicolon. It is compulsory. So it will create 3 variables of name xyz. All the 3 of float type. All the 3 of float type and of size 4. All the 3 will be of size 4. Clear? Now we have created a variable. So why are we creating variables? So that we can store values. So now we learn how to store variables in these variables. And this storing of values in a variable is known as initialization. Declaration means creating a variable. Initialization means keeping a value in a variable. So students always get confused between what is declaration and what is initialization. So you have to remember this. Declaration means creating a variable. What we did now was creating of variables. Till now we have not stored anything. No value was stored. When you store a value in a variable, this process is known as initialization. So now we will understand the syntax of initialization. That is declaration with initialization. So now we will declare the variables and also store values in them. The syntax is data type variable equal to value, comma variable 2 equal to value, comma variable 3 equal to value, comma variable 4 equal to value. Similarly, separated by commas, and at the end you have to give a semicolon. Okay. So when we wrote intx, it only created a variable with name x and told that it can store int types of value of size 4 bytes, integer values of size 4 bytes. Now we want to store a value. To store a value, you have to use a equal to sign. It is known as assignment operator. We will be studying about the assignment operator in details in chapter 3. So this time the new syntax is data type variable equal to value, comma variable equal to value, comma variable equal to value, and it will go on infinite. Depends on you how many variables you want to use, and at the end you have to give a semicolon. So only thing added is equal to value. It is the same syntax of declaration of variable. In declaration with initialization, when you want to give some value, you have to write or you have to add equal to value. Okay. And how to know what type of value to store? The data type will tell you. For example, if you are writing intx equal to, what type of value you can give? Integer values. For example, 5000. So here what will happen? It will create. First this will work. Okay, first it will create. If you have not created a house, you cannot store a value. Right? So first it will create a variable x of type int, that is size 4 bytes. Then this part will work. X equal to 5000. That means we can store 5000 in x. We have few more examples. Int x equal to 5. What will happen here? So again we'll divide this into two parts. This part, declaration part, and this part is the initialization part. Int x, it will create a variable x of type int size 4 bytes. Then x equal to 5. It will store 5 in x. Similarly, next is double pi equal to 5.8. Double pi equal to 5.8. Again, we will divide this into two parts. One is double pi. This is called declaration. This is called declaration of variable. Okay. And the second part. The second part is called initialization. Variable equal to value. Variable equal to value is the syntax of initialization. So first what will happen? Step 1. The compiler will create a variable pi that can hold real values of size 8 byte. Double means it will store real values of size 8. Then this will get executed. Pi equal to 5.8. That means it will store 5.8 in the variable pi. The next, float x equal to 9.0f, y equal to 6.7f, and z we have not written anything. Let us see what will happen. So it will create, first it will create three variables. First it will create three variables, x, y, z. In x we gave 9.0 f. Okay, what is this f? I will tell you later. Then y, we have 6.7 f. 6.7 f. What is this f? I will tell you later. And z, we are not keeping anything. So this syntax is a mixture of declaration with initialization and only declaration. So here we have done declaration with initialization. Here we have done declaration with initialization. But here we have done only declaration. It is not mandatory to keep a value. Okay, we can keep a value at a later time also. Okay, so when we will be doing program, we will be understanding how we will be using this. Okay, so when time goes on, you will be learning many new things by yourself, and I will also be giving some tips in programming. Okay, means when to give the values, when to store the values, and all things. Okay, so here we have a mixture of the syntax. The first one we have done declaration with initialization. Second one is also declaration with initialization, but the third one I have done only declaration, means I am not keeping any value. Okay, I am just creating the variable. So if you remember, in the last video I gave you two questions. The first question was, there is byte, there is short, there is int, and there is long. So there are 4 types of integer data types. The size of byte is 1 byte, short is 2 byte, means it is more bigger. That means it can store more bigger values as compared to byte. Then int is 4 and long is 8. So why there are 4 data types? For example, if we had only long, it is the biggest one. Okay, for example, if this is byte, then the bigger is short, and much bigger is int, and much bigger is long. So why not long? Because long is a big place, and we can store small value like 0, 1, 2 to like millions and millions of big value, right? So why there are 4 and not only one, that is long? Because in long you can keep small value also, you can keep big value also. So only long is enough to store all types of integer values. So why there is byte, why there is short, why there is int? Okay, so I'll make you understand with a simple example. You must have attended many marriages, right? So in that marriage, there is a time where, for example, a ring will be placed in a milk container, okay, basically filled with milk, and a ring will be placed in them, and the person who are getting married, they have to find it. So who find first, he or she is the winner. So what I will do, I will also play with them. For example, I went to my friend's marriage and they want to play this game. I will say that I want to make a twist in this game. And what I will do, I will throw the ring in a well. Do you know the well are very large? Do you think they will be able to find this ring? It will take, I think, years. Okay. And who will jump into the well to find the ring? No one will. So next what I will do, I will reduce the challenge and I will tell that I will throw this ring in a tank, in a small tank like syntax tank on the roof of houses you might have seen. So when I throw there, okay, it is still difficult to find but easier than this well. It will be easier to find than the well. Well is more difficult but tank will be much easier. If I throw this ring now in a bucket of water, it is more easier to find, right? And if I place this ring in a wok is where you fry in your kitchen, right? Fry or make curry, or what you say is kadhai, okay? So I'll place a ring there, much easier to find. So here what is happening, there is a small data. A ring is a small data, it is a small thing. But when you keep in a bigger area, it takes more time. A little smaller area, it takes less time. And the much smallest area, we take the smallest time. Okay, means as the size decreases, the time taken to find this ring increases. So basically that is nothing but the execution time. The execution time. So if you take large variables to store small things, the execution time may increase, and also it will take up space. And remember, space is money also. If you take large space but you don't want to use it, for example, you want to store a file of 1 GB, right? So to store this file of 1 GB in a pen drive, will you go and buy a 128 GB pen drive? It will cost some 6,000, 7,000 rupees. No, you are not going to buy this. You will buy the smallest available, for example, a 2 GB pen drive, because you will get this in 500 rupees. It is cheaper and your job is done. So similarly like this, the more memory, the more cost. So if you want to create a program where you want to store small things, why to create variables of big data types? Okay, because the program will be slower in execution, it will take more memory space. Okay, so we always want small programs, but our work should be done. So next question I gave you was Boolean. The size of Boolean is 1 byte, but it reserves or it uses only 1 bit. The size is 1 byte, but it uses only 1 bit. So question is why? Okay. So Boolean stores only 2 types of value, that is true and false. Computer understands true as 1 and false as 0. True as 1 and false as 0. Okay. The size of 1 is 1 bit. And 0 is nothing. 0 means nothing. The size of 1 is 1 bit. The value cannot be more than 1. The value cannot be more than 1. Therefore, it uses only 1 bit. Okay. Actually, this is part of decimal to binary conversion, which is not in our syllabus. Okay. If it would have been in our syllabus, I would have explained more in details. It can store only 1 or 0, and the size of 1 is only 1 bit. So even if it reserves 8 bits, that is 1 byte. 1 byte is 8 bits. It only uses 1 bit because that is the highest value it can store. Therefore, it uses only 1 bit, but it takes up to 1 byte space. So why 1 byte space? Why not it is 1 bit only? Why is the size 1 byte and not 1 bit? Actually, it is the computer architecture. You cannot create a data type smaller than 1 byte. The smallest data type will be only the size of 1 byte. You cannot create a 4-bit data type or a 1-bit data type. This is because of the architecture of computer. You cannot change it. Okay, you cannot create a data type smaller than 1 byte. Therefore, you have to take 1 byte, but it will use only 1 bit. Okay, clear? So next class, we will be studying about typecasting. Typecasting is a very important thing. It will be used in programming also. So till then, I want you to revise till this, what you have studied in chapter 3. Because if you skip chapter 3 and you are not serious in this chapter, you will be facing much trouble in chapter 4, 5 and especially in class 10. You will not understand anything of class 10. So please go through this chapter again and again. Take notes in your note copy. Okay, if you have doubt, use the discussion forum, or you can also WhatsApp your doubts. So now we'll take a leave from you. Enjoy your day. Thank you.